The Falkland Islands Meat Company has had a tumultuous past few years. This has been due to a number of factors, including Brexit and the pandemic. Other issues like poor management have been raised, as well as long-standing problems with cash flow. A year ago, the company was seemingly fighting for survival, taking heavy losses and finding it difficult to export.
Certainly the meat market is more difficult now.
We've got quite a lot of heifers here that we haven't managed to sell. Nobody's interested. This year is quite a deflated cattle industry here.
You know we're not working with the perfect entity, and there needs to be a review of the strategy there.
It seems that politically the system has let folks down.
But with a new general manager in charge, FIMCo are promising that there are positive changes on the horizon.
So I've come back to FIMCo. Nigel is operations manager, so Nigel Leach. Matt Kelly is our production manager. He was here before. It's key that we actually do look at progression and develop within FIMCo, and people that understand and recognise the issues that we have, but also as well as that I answer to a board, but I work for farmers. And that is one of the things that I do strongly believe. And as a team, we have to recognise that we're looking after a national asset.
The team are looking at changing practices to increase sales, including a longer export season that starts sooner.
So what will happen is our product will, because it takes around about 7 to 9 weeks for a ship to hit the UK, it will start getting into, we're starting processing in November. So our first containers will be leaving here probably the end of November, so they should be getting to the UK for around about Easter time, which is actually very, very high volume sales and quite a higher return as well for Easter time, and also hitting as well some of the Muslim traditional areas as well, so that's a positive for us.
In terms of the main subvention bodies, the following allocations have been agreed.
FIMCo has always worked closely with the government, in part because it receives large subventions from FIG. In this year's budget, £450,000 were granted to FIMCo compared to last year's £500,000, but with an additional capital contribution of £100,000.
As we've seen, the world has been easing up in terms of the pandemic. That's been a very positive thing, certainly for the export team. But getting the LATAM flight back online as well has been another significant change over the past year. Obviously, these global problems that have been thrown in the way, these barriers have been a significant challenge. But also acknowledging that we do need to do better, and we need to make sure that the team's fully prepared and trained and is ready to take this on. And there is opportunity there, and profitability won't be achieved unless we can make the most of those opportunities. So it does require a little bit of a lessons learnt, as well as a little bit of risk appetite and a little bit of innovation. But mostly it needs consistent support from government and also from suppliers.
Despite persisting issues such as staff shortages and water scarcity, FIMCo are optimistic that the company is moving in the right direction.
I mean, for me, long term is that I would love to see FIMCo become profitable. I really, really would. Is it possible? Yes, I think it is possible. Within the next 5 years, probably not. Within the next 10, yes, it is possible. And that involves, as I say, is looking at what we do as a company. It's like this year we paid farmers £1.2 million. By 2025, I want to see that being 1.5 million. And I don't think it's impossible, so long as we hit the markets right and the livestock that comes in is in the right condition.
To see the business grow back its confidence after what has been a shaky and tumultuous couple of years, some stability and confidence in what they're doing, and to feel and to be able to see that relationship between supplier and the entity in a really positive place. Obviously as a government, for all the reasons we outlined, we have to continue to support FIMCo as a business, but actually seeing it driving forward and not have this looming cloud over it is what we'd all like to see.
It appears that FIMCo are at another turning point where the company could find itself unable to meet its lofty aspirations. However, if plans succeed, it could move into being a profitable and successful business long term.